Southern Illinois. For 60 years, this has been your home for Saluki basketball.
Tatum out front, got a screen from Walker, going to jump up a three ball. Jamaal nailed it with 7 on the shot clock. His second 3 of this game. SIU leads it 67-64.
I think in this league, it's as hard to get a win on the road as any league in the country. When you come to Carbondale, you leave with a loss.
This is Echoes of the Arena, 60 years of Ventura Center magic on the Saluki Loyalty Podcast Network.
It is no picnic when you come to play inside SIU Arena. They've got the numbers to prove it. Head coach Chris Lowry for Southern Illinois told us it's absolutely magical in this place.
Scores 5.1 left in the bone. He will hold it. The Sweet 16 is even sweeter when SIU's in there. And the Dogs are Sweet 16 for the second time in 5 years. They take down Virginia Tech 63-48.
Now, here is the voice of the Salukis, Luke Martin.
Echoes of the Arena, 60 years of Ventura Center magic. We continue our podcast here despite the Saluki basketball season coming to an end just over a week ago in Arch Madness. But all Saluki fans know when you get to this month, when you get to the month of March, there's always that hope and that high energy level of what could potentially happen here in Carbondale. And a lot of that has to do with what transpired in the mid-2000s. The 6 straight NCAA tournament bursts for Southern Illinois, which included 2 Sweet 16s. And when you go to 6 straight tournaments, and only one was an automatic bid for Southern Illinois. Of course, with that one automatic bid being the year in 2006, which most of the guys who we have on this podcast today were a part of that group that won the Arch Madness Championship in 2006. But the reason we have this whole group together today is due to what this group did past Arch Madness. They didn't win the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament Championship, but they won the regular season championship. They did make it to the Arch Madness title game, which was the last time Southern appeared in the Arch Madness game in 2007, but then went on to the NCAA tournament and went to the Sweet 16 and took Kansas all the way to the wire, losing by 3 points, 61-58. But there's so many arguments throughout Saluki history of which team is the all-time best. And there's no doubt arguments to be made for 1967 with Jack Hartman's group, with Walt Frazier that won the NIT. You could even continue on when Southern was able to make the Sweet 16 officially for the first time with Mike Glenn in 1977 under Coach Paul Lambert when they lost to Wake Forest in what was the Sweet 16 at that time. But there is no question, an argument to be made when you are going about what are the best teams in Saluki history, if not the very best. The 2006-2007 version of the Salukis under head coach Chris Lowry, which was 1 win short of the 30-win threshold, 29-7, 15-3 in the Valley that year, and again went on to the Sweet 16. And you'll hear from these guys like Hall of Famer Jamaal Tatum, Deion Coopwood, Josh Bone, Tony Young, Tyrone Green, Wes Clemens. All of them make their way here on the podcast today, and all of them share some of their favorite memories of this team, which the majority of the conversation, as you will hear, is about what day-to-day was like. The intense practices, the competitors that they all were with one another, and how much that team has shaped all of their lives as they've moved forward. So let's not waste any more time and jump in to the 2007 Sweet 16 Salukis with Deion Coopwood, Jamaal Tatum, Josh Bone, Tony Young, Tyrone Green, and Wes Clemens. Well, one of the things I have learned ever since being in Carbondale, Illinois, is everybody talks about a lot of teams throughout the years, and so many teams are special. There's always an argument to be made that the best team in program history is the one that's joining us now. Pieces of that Sweet 16 team, of course, in 2006, 2007. We have right now with us, we have Tony Young, Jamaal Tatum, JT. Everybody knows JT. JT's still been around. He's on TV. He's annoying everybody still.
Man.
It's Saluki Nation as we go through. Wesley Clemens and none other than Joshua Bone. Josh Bone joins us Guys, thanks so much for the time. I know we're probably going to have some others here join us throughout the call. JT, let's start with you. When you see this group, when you see these faces, first thing that comes to mind for you?
Brothers, man, like for real, like brothers. I feel like I feel about these men as I do about my brothers. Like, we don't talk all the time, but whenever I see them, it's just like brings back a lot of memories and it's just family for real. Like honestly, family. You go through stuff with them. Sometimes you hate them, and then all the times you love them though. You know what I mean? And you fight, you laugh, you cry, you win, and all that stuff together. So yeah, I always say brothers, man, and just family for real.
I first I'm gonna second what JT just said, but when you see this group, it's just a bunch of smiles, man. I'm the oldest dude in this group, so I was there before everybody. So for all of them to come in and me to be the dude to take all these dudes on recruiting visits, and like it was a fun time, man. So literally, when I see all these dudes now, it's just one, it's a blessing to see everybody and where they are in life right now. But two, it's also dope just to kind of just relive some of those memories in your head, man, because those are some of the best times we've had.
I mean, really, it's the same thing. It's I mean, it's definitely a lot of memories, to think about. Uh, some of the things that went on. So, one thing that we all got together though was just being in the trenches. You know what I mean? So that's where that family bond comes from, with that grind and all that stuff. Because only us really know what we all went through. I mean, all the secrets and all that stuff. So that's something that you take away forever. And also you can apply it into life today, man. Some of the things that we went through, I mean, it definitely helps overcome some of the situations that, most of us probably going through right now.
Man, the same thing these guys have been speaking on: brotherhood, family. But I have I don't know, a phrase or a word, but it's the reason. I look at these guys and I say the reason. And the reason I say that is because these guys right here are the reason why I am the way I am today. It's the reason why I coach, how I coach. It's the reason how I raised my family. It's the reason I was able to play at UT. It was the reason why, I'm built the way I am. I was a young pup when I joined these guys, man. So all of these guys are my brothers, and all of these guys took me under their wing. And, I didn't play a lot on that Sweet 16 team. I made a dumb mistake by not redshirting, but, but at the end of the day, man, these dudes gave me confidence even when I was on the floor. And I look at these guys, man, a bunch of memories. A bunch of secrets, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, wrestling, arguments, long nights. but not right. These guys are my guys, man, and these are my brothers. But for sure, the reason I am who I am today.
Good to get Dion Coopwood on here for us. When you see these guys, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Just some of your just being able to see these guys and see their faces and what this group has meant to you, to your life.
I see family for sure. I see brothers. I see support. Some of the individuals on this call, I've talked to on a daily, a weekly, a monthly basis. Some of them I haven't talked to in a while, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how long I have or have not talked to you. They still my brothers, because like everybody else has said, we formed a bond, we formed a brotherhood, years ago. And that's just something that you can't come between, and that's something that you can't never break. If we all got together, like right now was like how we're in this virtual room, if we got together in a physical realm, we would still treat each other like how we was in college. Like we would love on each other, we would support each other, we would vibe together. And in enough time, we will actually grow together. So for me, I see brotherhoods, I see camaraderie, I see friendship, I see love, and I see support. And I mean, and that's important to me because similar to what Josh said, it's like, a lot of these individuals are the reason why I am the way that I am today. I took, we used to call ourselves Floor Burn U, where we dove on the floor. We went after all the basketballs, like any 50-50 plays. We knew that that's what was going to win the game. And so for me, I've been able to transition what I learned from these guys on the court into life. Like anything 50-50, I'm going to put my all into it to make the best return on the investment. Like any opportunity that I have, I'm going to go and I'm going to give it my all, because I kind of feel like if you're not growing, then you're dying. And my thing is I want to continue to grow. I don't want to die. I want to continue to live. I want to give it my all. And that's what we gave when we was at SIU. And it's like, for me, I transitioned that over to life. And so I predicate a lot of, who I am today and my success to these gentlemen. So they may not have known it or not, but that's the truth. Because when I came, like you said, I transferred in. And I remember having a conversation with Coach Larry. He said, listen, you can go play anywhere else and probably start. He said, but I got my guys here. He said, and so if you want to be a part of this group, you're going to have to earn your keep. You're going to have to earn your time. You obviously going to be coming off the bench. And I said, look, I'm cool with that, coach. I ain't got no problem. I said, I love this group. It's for me, it's not about playing every minute of the game. It's not about starting. It's about me playing my role. And so that's what I did for this group. And that's what those guys mean to me.
Of course, another guy who transferred in is now on our Zoom, Tyrone Green. I'll ask you the same question I've been asking everyone with Coop getting on with us as well. What's the first memory you had? Because you transferred into the program too. When you look back in time to that Sweet 16 season, what was special about this group, Tyrone?
Just a family atmosphere, man. Like these guys, obviously when I transfer in, I'm new. I don't know the system of the people, but they just made me feel at home. One player that really stands out for me is Jamaal Tatum. I know on my visit, he just made it a warm welcome. Made me feel like I'm part of a brotherhood. And then my roommate Joshua Bone, Dion Coopwood, I mean, just everybody, Tony Young, just everybody collectively, just saying, treated me as I was our own. We had some battles on and off the court, but in all, I mean, we built a bond that lasts forever. So it's just that experience, the love, the support from the coaching staff, the players. It made it worthwhile. So I felt part of a home, being 5-6 hours away from my family, but I had a second family in my teammates and my coaching staff. So couldn't thank them enough. It helped me build the character, perseverance, and allowed me to be the person I am today. So they mean more than my family do. So just that experience to share is it means a lot. So
Tony, you're the first one I want to start with. Of course, your first year at Southern Illinois was the final year of Coach Weber in 2002, 2003. And your 5 years when you were associated with the program, Tony, 127 wins, only 38 losses, 75 wins in the Valley during those 5 years. You also won 9 tournament games, including, of course, the Arch Madness Championship in 2006. When you think of what you learned that first year, in the last year of Coach Weber with guys like Kent Williams, Big Game Jermaine, Brad Korn, I mean, so many names you can go through. What did you learn that year? Obviously not playing a ton, redshirting, but that you held on to that really helped with these guys later on in your career, your senior year, to have such a magical season?
I bought into the fact of how hard we had to play. We were a blue-collar program at that time. So remember, we had just went to the Sweet 16 that first year before. So everybody was kind of just excited. It was a big wave coming through SIU, and the way that they played was right up my alley. I was tough. I wasn't a big time scorer when I when I got to SIU. I wasn't the person who knocked down jumpers. I just played defense. So I bought into coming in. If you want to get on the court, piss Kent Williams off every day. Like that was my goal in practice. To guard Kent Williams, to guard Stetson Harrison, to make these dudes to try and fight them. I wanted to play, but I was a little pup too. So coming in, you had guys like Brian Turner, Darren Brooks, Sylvester Willis, JD, of course, Jermaine Dearman. All these dudes kind of took me under their wing to do the same thing I did for everybody else as they came in. So when Josh came in, when Tyrone, Wesley, when all them came in and they were young, the same things that people did for me. Hey, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how hard you play. This is how practice is. This is where you go hang out. This is where you don't hang out. This is what, you know what I'm saying? You kind of teach them life as far as growing. So, man, that first group was an amazing group because they've been through the struggle to grow the program, and I bought into all the stuff that they were doing. Like, I came in and I had the red shirt. They were kicking my ass the entire time I was there my freshman year. I remember Brad Korn used to call me Turnover Tony. I used to pass the ball. I used to jump passing lanes, knocking all my – I'm like, God, dog. I thought I was tough. It was bad my first year. So, again, I had to grow up too, man. So, in the midst of me growing, it's a very fragile stage coming out of high school because you think you're the man. And once you get into that college realm and these dudes are grown men, my first open gym, Sylvester Slash set a screen on me and knocked me clean on my – I'm like, man, where am I, bro? Like, what is this? Yeah. So, and then they took pride in it. Like they took pride in knocking you on the ground. They took pride in beating you up and fighting during open. Like we took pride in that stuff. It wasn't, some places where you go play, they'll get mad at you for doing like that. Like, hey man, why is you grabbing me? Why is you pushing me? Why are we diving on the floor? Like our open gyms and our practices were way harder than the games we played in. Competition-wise, we may have played against some other people trying to grow up, but when we were actually on that court, the things we did on that court on a day-to-day were way harder. So I bought into that part. So that was the thing that I really carried on. Then you got to understand, too, the philosophy never changed because it went from Bruce to Matt to Coach Laurie. So the philosophy never changed that entire time. And we just had guys. So it wasn't really so much me. It was Darren Brooks that made sure I stayed bought in. It was Stetson Harrison that made sure I stayed bought in, the Brad Corn. So the guys before us up until my junior year when we took over, because we didn't have any seniors. That one year, my junior year, when we went made it to the tournament, we won the conference tournament. We didn't have any seniors. Me and JT were the oldest dudes on the team. So, and we definitely didn't even make it to the tournament. We made it to the tournament by the skin of our teeth because we won that game. We won the conference tournament.
And when it got pit snoggle.
They got pit snoggles.
Right.
Got pit snoggle.
Hey, Tone. Hey, you remember after we won that, we was in the locker room, right? And I came, I seen you. Came up next to you, and you was crying, bro. You was crying, and I tried to act like I didn't see you because I was like, I don't want to embarrass, because I had never seen you cry before. I had never seen you cry in all the years we played in college. I've never seen you cry. So I seen you. I was like, and then finally I was like, I gotta say something. I was like, Tony, you straight, man? He's like, yeah, man. He was just out here trying to book this man, like, and like I was like, okay, Tony, I got you. But really, you just happy as hell that we worked and got it, bro. But yeah,
hey,
remember that? Remember that?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking. That's what I said. But bro, it's so, man. We went through so much, dog, especially that year. Man, we lost a teammate that year. I came off injury that year. I broke my ankle the summer before that. Brian Mullins took my starting spot. Bro, remember all of the above, bro. I was hurt that, man. I went through so much up and downs that year. And so to be able to smack the hell out of Big Pat O'Brien.
I was actually talking to Stetson about that when I seen him at the conference tournament. I was like, I remember that because I said, I never seen Tony cry before. And I was like, shit, I thought I was the only one that cried on the team.
But wasn't that also that same year we lost to Indiana State too?
Yeah.
With David Moss?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because I know
it was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we lost at home. I think that's when we lost the record, the win streak. That was the same year. And I looked at JT. I remember being on the court. It was like we had all the momentum going, but I remember looking at you, JT, like, man, we still down. He's like, I know. It was like we could not get ahead for no reason, man. Yeah, that was a tough year.
That was a learning year for us, though, man.
Yeah.
That's how I looked at that. That was a learning year for us because we had to step into leadership roles. Everybody had to step up into a role. Me and JT went from being a redshirt sophomore, JT being a sophomore, to being captains on the team.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? Then coming off of being injured. Then just trying to figure it out. So, I mean, it really turned into a point to where a testament to everybody on this call, we had to put that together. Like, we really had to figure it out and put that together. By the end of the season, bro, we was rolling. And then we came back that next year and it was a problem, bro.
Yeah.
A problem.
Yep. Yeah.
I think it was because it was because of that year too. It was because of that junior year.
Yeah.
Remember that summer we locked in? We all sat down that summer, bro. We just had a meeting. Y'all called my ass in. We had that team meeting like, hey, let's go. Let's go.
Yep.
Hey, here what I can tell y'all. You know, me coming into the team and outside looking in, I ain't know y'all had none of these problems. Like,
oh man.
When I got there, I was like, only thing I could say, I'm like, damn, they good. Like, I'm just like, damn, they good. Like, that's all I could say. I was like, yo, this is great. Shout out to Tony when I got there. Tony, like Tony said, he literally was a living testament of how they treated him. That's how he treated me. Like, Tony was like, all right, bro, look, this is what we gonna do. This is what you can't do. This is what you gotta do. This where we going. This where we not going. This where we going. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. I got somebody to just help me. Like, give me some direction because I'm lost. Like, I don't know what's going on. And like, bro, definitely helped me out. And he was the main reason why I really was like able to really like make an impact and be a part of the team because he talked to Coach Lyon. Was like, nah, dude, like he really serious. He could play. He got heart. He got a motor. Like he ready. Because Coach Law, I think he kind of like was like, I'm not really sure about the transfer type of situation. But Tony talked to him, and then I remember like yesterday, Coach Law called me in office. He's like, hey, matter of fact, it wasn't even in office. It was on the court. We was practicing. He said, hey, why should I give you a full scholarship? And I'm like, damn, full scholarship. I'm like, it's crazy. And I think that it was just really like not, and it was like Tony was the beginning, but then like JT and Wes, everybody on the call was just a compilation of just signing off on, me and giving me that direction. So I appreciate y'all because I thought when I came in, I thought y'all had it figured out, but I'm seeing now today that y'all didn't have it figured out. And so y'all
not at all.
At all. Coach, that's part of the reason. That's part of one of the reasons why I had somebody, bro, I understood that anybody we had come in, I did the same thing with CJ.
Yeah.
I was talking to Coach Larry to get CJ in there, man. When you see good dudes, man, Coop used to hoop in the rec all the time. I was going to rec. I'm like, man, who is this little dude jumping out the gym, bro? He play hard as hell. I come in the gym. As soon as they said I'm on the basketball team, he jumping on my head. I got him. I'm like, what the hell? Man, who is this dude, man? But it really turned out to that. When he told me he wanted to play and I saw he could actually hoop, anybody that I felt could help our team, I'm like, man, come on. Hey, bro, he could help us because everybody wasn't going to be able to play, but you need people that want to be a part of your program that's going to help you because it's not about – I was a red shirt. So I understood that it wasn't no way in hell that I was going to get on the court. But if I didn't show up every day to practice, how was Stetson going to get better? How was Darren going to get better? How was these dudes going to get better?
That red shirt was definitely tough, boy.
Man, it was hard.
Tough, man.
So, and that's kind of the thing I did when we had a chance to get like walk-ons and transfers. Anybody, man, I was a recruiter. I was out there talking to people, man. Come on, let's talk to coach.
Yeah.
Jamaal, that's where I wanted to go with you. You come in, of course, the year after, talking about that redshirt year that Tony was taking. You don't redshirt. You make a huge impact really right away from your freshman year playing and obviously being a huge contributor your 4 years at Southern. When you got there, what was your expectation level, JT? I don't think I ever asked you that. Like, what? I know everyone talks about, social media day and the hype and being surrounded by guys. Like, for you, what do you remember about what you were told your role could be, and then ultimately when you got there, how your role ultimately came to fruition to what it was your freshman year and then moving forward?
Well, I think, you know what? I honestly didn't know because, Coach Weber recruited me, right? And then so he comes to the house, and we my parents were like, well, we heard you're going to Illinois. He's like, nah, that's just rumors. I'm not going anywhere. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I'm good then. All right. Then all of a sudden I see on the new ESPN or whatever that he's leaving. So I'm like, well, I don't know what Coach Painter thinks about me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm starting to think about opening back up and seeing what's out there. And then Coach Painter ends up being like, I want you to come still. Like, I want you to, you're still going to be a big part of the program, this and that. So I end up, going to SIU. And I really, honestly, that summer I got in there, Tony and Ryan Walker was in the gym. And I don't think they knew who I was. They because I know Ryan or either Tony asked if I played football, if I was on the football team. I think it was Ryan Walker. I've been lifting some weights. I've been in there pumping iron and stuff, And I guess they thought I was kind of jacked or something, man, but they thought I played football. But so I'm working out against Tony and Ryan, and I'm like, man, these dudes hella strong. I'm like, they strong, and I'm just like, they were so strong that I felt like they were fouling on every play, and I was just like, why are they going after every loose ball? And I was like, okay. So there was a moment we were playing one-on-one. Hey Tony, you remember we was playing on them side goals? Remember that? We wasn't even playing on the main court.
I know you're talking about when you first come in, the ones that didn't have breakaway.
Yeah, and I was just like, damn. And it was like a moment where I was like, I had these moments with my brother too before. It's like, okay, do I want to fight my brother today? Do I want to fight him? Or do I want to go in the house? So I want to go back inside. And it was a moment like, am I good enough? I don't know if I'm good enough to be here because I can't get nothing off. I couldn't get nothing off. And I was like, well, I'm going to start doing what I feel like they doing. I'm going to start, because it was a moment where I was like, I need to shut this down and go to the crib and go figure this out. And I was like, no, I'm just going to do what they doing. Because I feel like they found, so I'm going to start doing it too. And right then, that's how competing worked. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, well, you can't shut it down just because they're stronger and they kind of knocking you off your path or whatever. They playing hard. So I started doing the same thing, and that's how you get better. And then a new person comes in, Brian comes in, then he does that to you, and you do it to him. And it's just like, that's how people got so much better every year. They would, you know what I mean? We had 3 or 4 players on our team that could have been the player of the year, almost every year, right?
Hey, T.Y. foul, man. T.Y. foul.
Yeah. All that, especially in practice.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. In practice. Yeah.
But he locked a lot of people up too, though.
Yeah, he did.
Shit, he's gonna make you better.
And that was but think about it though. Part of my, and I don't think y'all understood that either. Part of my was, bro, I was the oldest dude on the team. Like I was the one that was there for Coach Weber and Coach Laurie. Like I played for every one of them. I was there with them. So the things I was doing to y'all, again, it was the same stuff that Darren Brooks was doing to me. Like Darren used to punk me all the time, bro, when I was short. It's the same thing that Stetson was doing to me. So it was like, if they don't understand this toughness piece, and I had a lot of private conversations with Coach Laurie. Like, there was a lot of stuff Mom didn't know that in the midst of losing and us going through what we was going through, I used to go sit down, bro. I used to go to Coach Laurie's room during hotel trips and have conversations. One time in particular, when we was in St. Louis, we lost that game to St. Louis that night. We was getting ready to go to Wyoming. Bro, I went straight to Coach's room afterwards, like, hey, we got to fix this. Like, something got to give. We had a whole conversation, and that next day he put me back in the starting lineup. And then we just started rolling from there a little bit. But it was more so, again, like I did what Coach needed me to do. Hey, man, such and such soft. See, you got to get them going. Let's go. Such and such ain't playing till you got to get them going. But then I remember, too, going through a slump. I'll never forget this. Going through a slump, I couldn't make a shot, bro. It was games. And everybody kept throwing me the damn ball. Shoot the ball, shoot the ball, shoot the ball. T, shoot the ball, shoot the ball. So in the sense of me knowing how to push people and how to pull and try and get the best out of them, man, everybody did that same thing for me, man. I wasn't always the most talented, bro. They was on my heels. I wasn't as fast and as quick and as like a scoring threat like JT was. I didn't shoot the ball like Josh. I wasn't an athlete like Tyrone. I wasn't quick like Wes. So y'all saying I was found. That's what I had to do.
Hey, there was a streak where you was going off our junior year. There was a streak where you were going off.
Hey,
he over here trying to downplay it.
You would have won the conference player of the year.
Bro, when I say I'm not down, but think about the time we put in the gym, though. That's what I'm saying. JT, when I came in, JT took, I went to the bench. I only played because I started playing because JT got in trouble.
Yep, I got in trouble.
That
was the common thing.
I was on a bench. I was a red shirt freshman. JT was a freshman. Boy, they had me on the bench. I'm like, man, what I got to do? I'm fighting every day in practice. JT got in trouble. I played during Indiana State that first game. I had 6 steals and like 12 points. Matt Painter was like, I got to find minutes for this dude.
I cried to practice. Coach Painter had me crying to practice, man. I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, Coach. Hey, that was my one time. He was like, hey, T, you got to play. And I ain't never looked back. He like, we got to find minutes for this dude. But it wasn't because I could shoot the ball. It wasn't because I was out there overly super point guardish. It's because I was tough. I played and I bought into the system. I didn't mind doing what I needed to do to win. And I think that's one of the bigger things as far as I bought into that. That was a skill in my mind to actually be able to recognize talented people around you, to be able to recognize your own talents and then actually help put that together, man. I think that was a big thing that every one of us did. We recognized each other's talents and we pulled that out of each other. There wasn't no jealousy on our team. A lot of teams deal with that prima donna.
Now, we had some situations where people were fighting or we were mad at a situation, but nobody was hating on the next person. I can promise nobody was hating on the next person. It was like you have teams where people is battling to try to do this or score more or do that. It really wasn't that. We were battling each other to get better and to win, but it wasn't nobody hating, just outwardly hating on nobody. It really wasn't, ever.
We talked about that, JT, back during the course of this most recent Saluki basketball season. And Josh, I want to go to you next for this because, as I mentioned, obviously you still coach there at Tennessee State. And one of the consistencies, and I want to get back to the team in that year in a moment, and we will, but you guys have described your practices, the accountability piece, the toughness piece, where there were days where there would be fights, where you would get on each other, but yet all of you had the way of, you knew it was part of the process. You knew that that's where ultimately you guys had to go to grow as a team. This is kind of like, back in my day, we were tougher type of conversation. But in today's day and age, just with how college basketball is, you think of the transfer portal, you think of the ease to move. It's easy for guys to really shut down and almost necessarily want to be nice to one another. My long-winded question to you, and should have been quicker in terms of what my question is to, when you think of this group and you think of how that team was built and how your day-to-day culture was, it's not that it was all sunshines and rainbows. How much of that do you try to communicate to your players now and to your teams now of, look, this is like, you think this is hard. It's got to be hard. Like, these are things that you learned with this group that have really helped mold you as a coach and what you try to bring in today's day and age of college basketball.
Oh, every day. I let them know every day who these guys are. I've showed film on all of these guys and how we played back in the day and the reason why we were as good as we were. And, this, like I said before, the way I coach is because of these guys. Every day, my guys are coming to me, and I control the defense. I'm in charge of the defense, and that's crazy because my freshman year, sophomore year, they said I was the worst defender. You feel me? And then I go from being the worst defender at SIU to one of the best defenders in the SEC and having to guard all these guys. And these guys laughing because they know. They like, Bone didn't play no defense at SIU. He ain't play no defense. But everything I learned during that time, and like T.Y. said, it's like, man, you got to build up to that point. You're not just going to come as a freshman, hella polished, ready to go, like you're already prepared for the Division I level. And the Missouri Valley, the Missouri Valley is full of dogs. You got to be tough. You got to be strong. You got to play fast. And as a mid-major conference, like that's what we took pride in. That's what these guys showed me as a youngin coming in. T.Y. ain't lying. He's like, hey, Bone, you're not going to play if you don't get the shot off quicker because I'm there every time. JT going to be there every time. West, Tyrone, Coop, they're going to be there every time. So you're going to have to play faster. You're going to have to work on your game. And defensively, if you're not guarding, you're not going to play. I heard that from all of these guys. And that's what I implement to my guys today. You're not going to play if you can't guard. If you can't close out on the skip pass and get there before the got his shot up or by the time he get there, you're not going to play. And these days, kids make excuses for playing hard. We didn't make excuses back in the day. And if you did make excuses, you weren't part of the rotation. And that's what these kids today have to realize. Winning is hard. Winning is hard. Winning 29 games in a season is hard. Going to the Sweet 16 is hard, especially as a mid-major team. Being ranked in the top 15 in all of college basketball is hard. Being 3 points away from winning and beating Kansas, who won it that year, is freaking hard. But these guys want to take the easy way out, and it's different in the landscape of college basketball right now because everybody's, wanting money and they want to take the easy way out. And it's just a testament to these guys, man. Like I say,
Can I chime in on that, Josh? About
that
easy way out. Like you said, man, you gotta understand it's a grind and a sacrifice, man. You gotta, when you come in, you gotta be humble. You know what I'm saying? I made the Indiana All-Star team, which is a big deal coming out of Indiana. And Coach Larry being from Indiana, he understood that. And like he said, that don't mean nothing here. It don't. Don't nobody care. You know what I mean? Each level you go to, whether it's low major, mid major, whatever, everybody's good coming where they come from. And you got to understand, like you said, like Josh was saying, man, you got to humble yourself. And you got to make those sacrifices in order to, what I mean? When you win, everybody gets looked at. Everybody gets a chance. And like you said, man, none of it was easy. It wasn't easy. And it's not going to be easy. Winning is not easy.
You said humble yourself. And I had to humble myself quick. I'm coming as a guy that won 4 state championships who was top 2 guards. Come on now. Look. I tell everybody, hey, everywhere I go, I win. So TSU better come on because I'm like, hey, bro. This like, look, I got the SIU when we won. I got the UT when we won. Like 4 state championships, top 2 guards in the state. But it didn't matter when I got to SIU because T.Y. was on my ass. JT was on my ass. West was on my ass. Tyrone Green was on my ass. Coop was on my ass every single day. And that's how I became the player I was. And like I said at the beginning, that's the reason why I was able to play at UT. That the SEC is full of guards and full of guys that's 6'8", 6'7", McDonald's All-Americans. But I'm being placed on them for defensive purposes. I went from caring all strictly about offense to the only way I was going to play is playing defense. I had to do it, and it's a testament to these guys on this phone because I remember being this talented freshman, and I'm trying to dribble up the court. And T.Y. said, nah, you're not getting past half court. I don't know who we was at. We was at Illinois State practicing, and I'm trying to dribble up the court, trying to run the offense, and he's not letting me get past half court. And I'm like, man, he fouling. He fouling. Man, we pushing, we shoving, and doing all this stuff because we fought every day. Every day. Whether it was at home with Tyrone, we boxing, we wrestling. It was going to be a fight every single day at practice or the career. And, man, but like I said, man, that is the reason why I coach the way I coach. I'm a hard-nosed coach. These guys know I don't play, but I know we're not going to win if it's some soft shit going on. It wasn't no soft shit. It wasn't allowed at SIU, and it's because of these guys.
And it wasn't no shortcuts, Jay. You said it the first. You said winning is hard, man.
Yep.
Winning, for us to do all the stuff we did, think about the process we went through, man. Me and JT, before y'all got there, was playing one-on-one full court for an hour. Our whole workout was me and JT playing one-on-one full court. You know what it's like chasing this dude up and down that court by ourselves, just me and him?
Right, man, the quickest dude next to my little brother Jordan, who made it to the NBA, and JT should have been in the damn league too.
Man, and I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, man. Like Wes said, it's a grind, but there are no shortcuts to being successful, and that's the difference between these kids now and what we had back then. Then you understood that if you get a highly touted freshman now, and he come in and everybody jump on his head, and you're not kind of pumping him and kissing his a little bit, he gonna be ready to get up out of there right away. I gotta go, man. These dudes they don't like me like that. Whereas being able to take that and own that and be like, you know what? Let me get better. Let me build. But that's why our bond came from, because everybody had to go through it. And when you came through, everybody knew what it was like. I knew what it was like. You knew what it was like. JT had so many ups and downs. He didn't have to red shirt no shit like that. But JT had his issues through the program where he had to be supported and everything else. Like, we were a real like family, bro.
I thought I was gonna red shirt my freshman year. I thought I asked Coach Painter a couple times, and I asked him about red shirting. You know what I mean? I honestly did.
Boy, your ass made some big plays your freshman year, boy. You weren't the red shirt. Man, I was there when JT came in. JT tried to play the whole team one-on-one. Every day after practice, bro. You won his freshman year. Every day after practice, his freshman year, you walk down the line. Hey, you want to play one-on-one? You want to play one-on-one? Stetson, let's play one-on-one. Derek, the whole team. I'm like, man, get out of this little dude. Got all the energy in the world, man.
Hey, and DB was dragging me. DB was dragging me one-on-one. Like, I don't think Stetson played me that much, but DB played me a lot. Me and you played a lot.
I
and Ryan Walker played a lot in the beginning. Yeah.
I wasn't playing DB no more, man. DB used to get into it. He used to get mad at him. Like, you're not going to keep posting me up the whole damn time, man.
Me too. Me too. Yeah, me and DB get into it.
DB had them hands and stuff, man, and he move your body, he push you behind him and stuff, man. Like,
yeah, with his whole damn hand, with his muscle,
play
bro.
One-on-one.
Yeah.
Hated guarding that dude.
Yeah. And he'll accidentally hit you with his arms and elbows and hands and fingers and everything and be like, oh, my bad, G.
Yeah.
Hey, Tyrone used to do the same thing. Tyrone over there being quiet, his big to elbow you.
Hey,
you couldn't look.
We used to have
the charge every time. That man get down here, his big charge you run you over and I'm like, yeah, that's a charge.
Yeah, we used to do that war rebound drill. I used to have to box Tyrone. We used to box Tyrone out that rebound drill.
Hey man, he coming over your back.
I think Tyrone injured probably everybody on the team.
Tyrone, you remember when you split me? Remember when you split me? I had to leave practice to go get stitches.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember when you split me?
I remember that, man.
Yeah, you split me with a spin move in transition.
I think I split Wesley too.
Yeah.
In our auxiliary gym over there.
Probably so, man.
And Davies.
Tyrone everybody.
Wes, I still got an injury because of you, man.
Who, me? When?
Yeah, bone is out of place for life.
I think I remember you was talking about saying I did. I don't remember that though.
You didn't do it. I was late getting in the gap, and I went through
I was coming
through the gap with the wrong hand, and your big was right there, and my momentum kept going through.
Yeah.
But my bone kept going as well, but it stopped. Now my bone is out. But testament to these guys, I kept playing. I ain't sit out no games.
Yeah,
my bone is out.
Hey, didn't nobody sit out for real? Like, if we all sat out, man, it was like a for real injury, man.
Yeah,
we played, you know what I'm saying? I'm sitting up, I'm talking to one of my guys, and like with the NBA or whatever, they like a little mild ankle sprain. I'm like,
Yep.
I think they can play, man. Because I'm looking at, I understand, it's $1 million investment on them dudes, though. But I remember my ankle being black and blue, and as dark as I am, and you see my ankle discolored. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
I know who set out. Look, I know who set out some practices, though. I ain't gonna say his name.
Ooh.
Him right there, JT.
Hey, you know what happened, right? You know what happened?
It was a hamstring, right?
No, Tony Boyle damn near broke my leg, bro. When we got in the fight.
That's right.
That's what happened.
Oh.
Yeah. So, bro, you know I couldn't sleep for like 2 months, bro. I couldn't
that's when you
sleep.
did that sweep
my thigh
kick.
was so messed up, bro.
That's when you did the sweep kick.
Nah, Coach Lowry had to sit you out so you can play in the games.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. So
and nobody had no problems with it.
Yeah.
It was,
so
you sit out, bro.
Tony got into it, Tony Boyle, right? When got into it, he started chasing me. I tried to go down and trip him.
He did the sweep kick.
He stomped.
Yes.
Man, he did the 8-town stomp on my thigh so hard, bro. He broke my shit, man. And so
hey, do y'all remember the practice before the Kansas game? When I tore my my meniscus, sprained my meniscus because I didn't dive on the floor. Yeah. I ain't dive on the floor after lose ball, but Tony Boyle did.
Oh yeah.
And couldn't even play in the Kansas game, bro. I know I could have got at least 3 points.
And the worst part is afterwards, all I was say was, "Hey man, you gotta get on that flow, man.
And I'm hot.
You gotta
I'm
dive.
hot.
Hey man, you'll dive on the floor. That's some shit that happens."
What was you about to say, Tyrone?
Hey, I was going to talk about we talked about it then, but what about the conditioning before in the morning time when that back tighten up?
Oh man.
You and Wesley.
Hey man, I don't want to talk about no conditioning.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all know that was my Achilles heel. I ain't talking about no conditioning, bro. I love conditioning now. I can run for miles. But back then, nah, I ain't running no mile time. I'm not running 200. Man, something impossible.
Hey, Coach Lowry.
JT out there running miles. JT running miles before the actual mile. I'm like,
I was, bro. I went and warmed up.
Definitely was
the
out
rec
there
center that
getting
day.
loose.
And I had my little track shorts on from like 5th grade, bro. I was ready to go.
Let's get that over with. Let's get this time out this first time. Get it over with.
Coach Lowry and Coach Owens, they still laugh at me to this day when they took me out to go running and stuff. They like, oh, you got to build it up. And he talking about, during the summer, you was one of the toughest cats out there. You was still going. I said, that's because we was playing ball, not running track.
I know my body.
He told me the same thing. He said, hey, Bone, you can't make a mile time to save your life, but you can beat everybody in sprints. I'm like, because it's on the court.
Right. That's what I was saying.
And I don't do this mile time. Like, but those are the excuses you have.
Yep.
As a young kid, because when I got to UT, I'm killing everybody. Mile time, sprints, heels, all that stuff.
Man,
and it's crazy, man. You just got to build up your mental capacity, man, with everything with this basketball, because all of it's mental.
And even compared to any other team in the country, man, I think the way we got prepared, bro, what we did was A1. Klein was on point with the weight program. Our conditioning was crazy.
Yeah.
The way we ran, like, it was crazy. And as we look back at that right now, as I look at that right now, as opposed to college programs and places I done seen, I'm like, bro, what we did when we used to work, like, I understand why we was tough and why we played so hard, because, bro, we used to work. Like, we was out there in the morning.
We had live physical practice right before game, the night before the game.
Yeah. Real practice the night before games.
Everybody was tough in our program, even our trainer. Ed wasn't going.
At all.
Nah. Ice is still
not going. You got an ankle injury. Man, you better tape that up. Better pop some ibuprofen. You got a bone out your shoulder. I'm going to give you this brace, pop some ibuprofen. You playing now.
I remember when I got sick at Creighton. We was at Creighton. I was throwing up at every timeout. Doc Knapp.
You playing?
Yeah. Doc Knapp took me at halftime. He's like, I'm just going to give you a shot. I'm like, all right, go ahead, Doc, get me right. He's like, no, got to give it to you in the butt. Turn around. I said, come on, big dog. What is you on, man?
Yeah.
Hey, man. But that was a sign of the program, though. He's like, we're going to stop you from throwing up, but you can go back on the court if you want to. Go ahead. Like, all right, cool. Let's do it.
Let the big dog eat.
Let the big dog eat.
I know how important Doc Knapp was to you guys, and I wish he could still obviously be here to be able to one take place in the 60-year celebration that we're doing this year, and I'm sure he would have some really good stories to share as well as your athletic trainer Ed Thompson. But going to that season, within the Sweet 16 year, there are kind of two pivotal points, and I say two pivotal points. There's more than that, but the two areas that Coach Watson brings up with me a lot when it comes to this team, guys, was the early season tournament in Orlando, losing to Arkansas in overtime, but then turn around to beat Minnesota and then Virginia Tech, who you guys would see later on in the NCAA tournament. What do you guys remember about that early season MTE, losing to Arkansas in a tough game, turning back around to win your next two?
I remember going to Orlando, and it was vacation for everybody. When we first got to Orlando, we taking pictures, we running the hotel room, like we were on vacation. And then we got our ass kicked, and then it got reality. But I think that the testament to that team to the team we have is when it was time to get serious, we got serious right away, and we understood how to. You know what I'm saying? Coming off the season before, we knew what we wanted to do, and we had goals. Everybody had a goal. We trying to get to the tournament. We got to get to the tournament. So to be able to play those teams early in the year on TV, I got dunked on. Pat Beverly dunked. Remember, Kobe was like, da-na-na, da-na-na. You cracked that joke on the bus. I used to always crack on Kobe. And I got dunked on. Pat Beverly was on TV. It was on Sports Center. And then on the bus, Kobe Aqua was like, da-na-na, da-na-na. He screamed it out on the bus. But again, I said that to say, I think the start of that season kind of woke us up. Like when we start off that first loss, it showed us we could play with anybody. But then after going back and winning them next two games, it was like, hey, let's roll from here. We understood what we had to do. And like I said, everybody kind of bought into it. Early in the season, you don't know, who's going to lead, who's going to do what, because we conditioned that way. But in game situations, you never know who's going to show up. And the team that we had, at any moment, anybody could be the dude that came in to help us win. It could have been Tyrone with a big rebound, West with a big rebound, me with a stop, JT with a few buckets, Randall with a block, Matt with a three. You just never knew what it was, man. So I think us finding ourselves that first part of that season was big.
It was a crazy experience. I think those were some of the first times that I experienced, college basketball at that level. And like Tony said, like playing Arkansas, it was just like, it was real. I was like, dang, like, and we playing on ESPN, and I'm watching all this stuff going on, and I'm like, man, what's going on? This is crazy. The crowd is crazy. The energy is electrifying. It was just a lot going on for me, because those were some of my first like real D1 college basketball games. And so, like you said, you get out and you think you're on vacation until you get hit in the mouth, and then you gotta show up the next few games. And it was that tournament for me was special too, because those were the first points that I had ever scored. You know what I'm saying? Playing for SIU, I played against Minnesota. I played like 6 minutes against Minnesota. I mean, and I hit a three, and I was like, oh, this lit. Like, I'm lit. It was like everybody at home was like, yo, I saw you on TV and you scored. And I'm like, yo. And it was just like, it was crazy. So it was electrifying. But like Tony said, like, we lost to Arkansas. I mean, fortunately he got dunked on, but that's a whole nother story, but it was like, then we came right back and went crazy. So it was a good time. I loved all of the experiences, man. But for me, that Old Spice Classic, I remember that's what it was. That was a special tournament for sure. Yeah, I loved it.
Hey, I don't remember that dunk, Tony, man. So
I remember Kobe.
I'm always trying to chase somebody down. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna extra play hard. And I tried to catch Pat Bev on a fast break, and he put it down. He punched that bar. I tried to catch him on a fast break. It wasn't the first time it happened in my career.
Tony was trying to chase down people for a long time, trying to block. Hey, you remember when dude busted your lip when you tried to chase him down and block a shot in the tournament that year?
What's it called? At St. Mary. It was a dude from St. Mary's.
Yeah,
it was St. Mary's. It was our joint. It was
I remember
our sophomore year.
Dude, he caught old boy from Bradley, the 7-footer.
Yep. Yeah. Patrick O'Brien.
O'Brien. Call him.
But one thing I think about that tournament, those teams, man. One thing that stands out for me with like those bigger name teams and stuff like that is like once we played against a few of them, I was like, yo, like these teams just have names. We're a better team than them. Like we have more dogs in our team than them. Like they're a good basketball player, but we're dogs. Like, we're dogs. And so that was one thing that I thought about that stood out for me is like once we played against a couple of them teams, I was no longer like I didn't respect that name. I didn't respect big names. It was like we're us. And then another thing I realized about it, so when I went to like the like the NBA combine stuff, I didn't realize when we would get around those teams. Like, so I was around like Xavier and Dowdell, the NBA, like Portsmouth or whatever. And I didn't realize how much respect those teams have for us. While we're sitting up there, where I was sitting up there the first couple of times we played them, a bigger name team, kind of thinking about them and stuff. It's crazy how much they were thinking about us and how much they respected us. Like all the teams nationally. I mean, I could just I remember being around like teams that we didn't even play, and they was like, "Yo, you played on the Salukis on the dog team?" I'm like, "Yeah." They was like, man, y'all know, bro. And I was just like, but it's like, and I was just like, but everyone knew about us. It's like nobody, like everybody in the nation knew about us, and I didn't realize how I didn't know that people really was like, we was on a national radar. I knew we were nationally ranked and stuff, but people knew about us and respected us. And Virginia Tech was like, they said, I was talking to Xavier and Dowdell at camp, and he was like, when we seen that we had to play y'all again in the NCAA tournament after we played y'all in Florida in the Old Spice Classic, they like, we knew it was over. We knew the season was over. And I was like, yo, that's crazy just to think that like you going against SIU and you guys are Virginia Tech, and you know your season's over when you got to play against us. It's crazy, like the amount of respect that we got. And even like talking to Brandon Rush from Kansas, I knew him since I was little, and he was like, they respected the hell out of us, and it was like we created that. We were like a tough Gonzaga, like at that moment, you know what I mean? Like we were more than just a mid-major, you know what I'm saying? Like they really, really, really respected us, and you don't know that when you're on the inside looking out. You don't know what the outside looking in is thinking. You know, it's really refreshing to hear that. Like everybody had something to say about us, you know, whether it was like a joke, but they knew who the Salukis were. They knew where Carbondale was, you know.
And it was mission accomplished. That's the stuff we used to say before games. Before we used to go out there and talk, coach would give us a speech, and we'll go out our own tone. Hey, man, make these, bro. Man, we ain't going out here and playing with them. Let's get on point. We used to go out there and get ourselves ready right there the exact same way. So just hearing other people say that, because I had the same conversations with coaches and guys too now. Yeah. It's like mission accomplished, man.
Mm-hmm. Really.
Hey, before we let you guys go, because I know I promised you guys an hour and I want to keep you to an hour because all of you guys are moving on with your lives in your day and age. Just for Saluki Nation, I know most of them obviously follow you guys still very closely. We'll just start with each of you. Let them know what you're doing today, kind of what day-to-day life is like, how your families have expanded, if you have families that have expanded, and we'll just kind of wrap up on that note. Let's start with you, Coach Bone. Josh, we'll start with you.
Man, family, man. Got a wife, Letice, 3 kids. I got 2 daughters. My youngest is a boy. So I'm done.
Yes, sir.
So once you have a boy, you done, huh?
Yeah. We done. But yeah, coaching, man, loving everything I do. Continuing to learn the game. I actually was able to speak to Mike Reese, longtime radio guy, announcer from SIU, this past week when we were in the conference tournament, and just living back those days, man. But yeah, man, just trying to enjoy the moment, staying in the moment with this coaching stuff, because you can kind of take it for what it is, man. It is a rough time in college basketball right now, with NIL and the transfer portal and just everybody's money hungry. But right now, man, I'm enjoying it. I love everything I do. I love the game. These guys, you know, like I said earlier, man, they're the reason why I do what I do and why I do it and how I do it. And I just love being on this call. But man, these guys are my brothers. Hopefully we can all get together in person one day, maybe in Carbondale for a game. I don't know what it's going to be, but we have to. But love these guys, love Saluki Nation, love everything I was taught there, everything that I've been through, the ups and the downs. And, you know, it's up, man. Just trying to become a great head coach one day and, you know, keep going up.
Tyrone, to you. Give Saluki Nation an update just where you are at right now in your current life as well.
For me, I'm married, been married almost 3 years in May to my wife, Stephanie. I have 2 kids. My daughter, she's a junior, and she plays at Lawrence North. She just won a 4A state championship. My son is 12. So just working. I don't play basketball, unfortunately, but I do work out a lot. Still pump some weights and try to stay in shape as much as I can. But just working. Yeah, just trying to stay in shape as much as I can. Yeah, I just want to piggyback off what Josh said. I mean, the experience I've had at SAU, man, I love the fan base. I love my teammates. They're the reason why I am the man I am today. I mean, what we've been through, what we went through, adversity to great success. That's a testament to the man I am today. So I love the guys, and very thankful and grateful for that experience.
Wes, how about you, brother?
Oh, with me, shoot, man, it's family. I mean, that's really about it for me, man. It's I got twin girls, man. They 5 years old. I'm actually on a little vacation right now at a indoor water park. So
Good.
real yeah. So it's one of my babies right here. You want to say hi?
Hey,
It's Dakota right
what's up?
here. So and then here comes Harlem.
Hey.
He's ready to go too. Say hi, Harlem.
Hey,
How
sweetie.
you doing?
Watch out. So, but that's really about it for me, man. I just feel like, man, when within life and all that stuff, and being able to have a part of you to move on and teach lessons to, man. I mean, what more can you say? You know what I mean? As long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and handling your business, can't nobody say nothing to you. So it's just all about family for me, man. I really enjoy it. It makes me smile. Um, that's really about it, man. I that's all I really gotta say about that. So I'm proud of, yeah, for real, man. Yeah, I just love my babies, man, and I just love coming home to my wife. It's something that when you playing ball and all that stuff, when you in school, you don't really think about it. But like I said, the things that we went to or whatever, it applies to the things that I'm doing in life right now. You know what I'm saying? And I look at every, little situation that happens, like sports has really helped me make it, get through it. These guys right here, it's about a certain moment where it's tough or whatever, it's really not, because you didn't get some stuff already. So all I want to say is I'm just proud of these guys because I see them, I see what they doing. You know what I'm saying? TY, see what your son, getting them on the court, come a long way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just proud of all these dudes because they fathers too, and they take care of their business, man. And that's all I ask.
Similar to the first few, married now to my wife Couture, who's sitting right here next to me. I just celebrated a birthday yesterday, so we had a good time. She held me.
Happy birthday, Coop.
Yeah,
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Appreciate you.
Great. Them grades popping out a
Hey, show
little more.
Yeah. So
them grades.
yeah, my wife, she said, I like them grades. Oh man, been married now 5 years, been with my wife going on 15 years. Got 3 kids. I got my oldest, my daughter, got a son, I got another daughter. So yeah, man, I'm just living life. Currently right now I run 2 successful businesses. I run a software company and I run an educational company as well. So life has been great, man. And I just took what I learned from these guys. I took what basketball taught me about being coachable, being a team player, selfish, and I applied all of that stuff to life and business right now. Like what I said, we don't realize how much basketball, and being coachable and being a part of a team has transitioned over into life and being that's why it ain't no coincidence that we're still doing good. We all, then being married and just being a team player because you got to understand, in order to play ball and to be a part of a team and to win at a high level to where we want it, you got to be selfless. Like, like you got to think like I was the last guard off the bench. I played the least amount of minutes, but I practiced just as hard. When I got in the game, I went just as hard. I don't care if it was 2 minutes, if it was 10 minutes, if it was 5 minutes. I'm gonna play as if I'm playing the whole game. My attitude was always on point. I ain't never complained about nothing. I ain't never tripped. And I think that that's what really helped us overall get to like JT said, like we ain't never hate on nobody when nobody never fighting. Like that's what helped us get to that ultimate level. Because if you got your first guy, which we all couldn't agree that JT was like our first guy, like that's the first guard. Down to me, I'm the last guard coming off the bench. Like if you got your first guy and your last guy going, it's just as hard. There's no it's almost like you're gonna make it to the Sweet 16. You're gonna like Josh said, if we didn't lose to Kansas by 3, bro,
we'd be cutting them nets down.
We win the whole national title.
Yeah, we've definitely beaten UCLA, man.
Bro, we beat everybody. We beat everybody because like JT said, we didn't know that we was known, and the thing about it is we were playing as if we were known.
Yeah.
Like, and then when we won, this is what made it so bad. Coach Larry told us when you win, act like you've been there before. So we'll win, and we just finna shake hands and we walking out. We not finna celebrate. We're gonna celebrate in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. And so for me, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everything that you have given me on the court, off the court, everybody on this call. Like, love y'all to death, man. I will give anything that I can to support y'all, to help y'all. Like, again, we may not talk as much, some of us, we do talk all the time, but it don't even matter. Y'all always my brothers. And that team was very special to me. And then to this day, even though I always be like, don't live in your past, don't live in your past. Like, what are you doing right now? What are you doing today? I still tell everybody about my Sweet 16 team, the experience that I had, and how much I value that experience and being around y'all. And I would give anything to go back to them days. But again, we can't go back because we only go forward. So just take that. Anybody that's watching this, anybody that see this clip, man, just make the best out of life. Max life out. Give it all you got. Because I'm pretty sure some of us in some games, some practices, we wish that we could have went harder and it could have made a difference. And we could have won a national title. But we can't go back. So we're going to have today and we're going to move forward. So take your life today, max life out, and get the best you can to move forward.
I'm going to have the TV personality, Jamaal Tatum, go last. So Tony, you're next.
Right on. Again, Tony Young, man. First, I'm gonna say it's crazy. I'm married. I got a son. My son getting ready to graduate high school this year. The wild part is every one of these dudes were around me when I had my son.
Yeah.
So they've been there from jump. So as I raise my boy and they watch him grow, Josh got a chance to host my son and hang out with him a little bit at Tennessee State when he came to visit during homecoming. SIU was like I said, we were very vulnerable as we grew up, man. So me, in the midst of what I'm doing right now, I'm a special education teacher and an intervention specialist. So I work at a high school. I've been all up and through administration, but the biggest thing is I just like giving back. I still play basketball. I'm still mentoring kids. I'm still working in the AAU circuits here and there. I still train kids. But most importantly, I'm working at the grassroots, man, just trying to make sure some of these neighborhoods I grew up in and some of the kids around get the same type of mentorship that I didn't think I got growing up, man. So I'm locked in on the education side. Ultimately, it's to get people the opportunities to do some of the things that I've done. Basketball was my opportunity. Meeting these dudes, and I don't think y'all realize how big of a role, again, we all say it, and I don't think any of us see it, how big of a role we've played in each other's lives. Like, we were young men growing up, and we had to go away. We weren't by our families. We couldn't go lean on mom and daddy to take care of us. We had to actually go out there and figure it out. And we figured out a lot of real stuff with each other. Like, when you talk about real life blood, sweat, and tears, happy tears, sad tears, real life blood, cracked heads, scratches, wounds, whatever it was you want to call it. But that turned us into guys that can go out here and be resilient in a world that's tough on Black men right now. So for us to be able to go out here and to continuously push, man, I look at everyone, bro. I'm so proud of y'all, man. Like, I smile and I sit back and look like, hey, these are all my little bros on here, man, going crazy. Every one of y'all. So, man, I'm going to say just keep doing what y'all doing. SIU Nation, the fans at SIU are second to none, man. We just had that arena rocking. I can't think of a home game when I was at SIU where it wasn't packed wall to wall, people screaming. JT wouldn't let us go until they play. That's like the theme song. You would think it'd be something that was the one part of it that got us hyped every time. So when you see people bouncing, like, we were literally hyped. Like, we was excited to play, man. And a lot of that came from the energy that the fans provided for us too, man. Our fans, the boosters, the people that took care of us. Like, SIU was good to us. And and in the midst of it, it allowed us to be successful on the court and make things work for the university as well. So, again, anytime we get a chance to get back together, fellas, I'm looking forward to that day, man. We can kick it, get face-to-face, have some drinks, and just kind of enjoy it, reminisce again.
I feel like we're on the Valley on ESPN with Jamaal Tatum now to close us out. Would JT just give us an update on you, brother?
Hey, don't let Luke gas you up. I'm up there tripping over my words and stuff, man. He like, you just got to get to the point, man. Hey, I did my best though. I did my best. Hey, but I got 4 daughters now. And I think most of you guys knew my oldest. She's 23 now. She just finished college, graduated, has her nursing degree. Just like Tony, I think most of you guys were around and got to see her at least, a couple times, or, my oldest, Mariah. So just like Tony said, I'm just trying to mentor the youth. I'm by no means at the top of the food chain when it comes to finances, but I'm rich, like, through experience and really just enjoying just working with the youth and trying to mentor them and give them opportunities. I feel like sometimes I have like survivor's remorse and feel like kind of guilty for having all the experiences I've had in my life with, having both my parents in the household and having a lot of resources to get the opportunities that I have had. And then having great people, like you guys in my life, really, honestly. And I honestly struggle some transitioning from college basketball to my next venture in life, which was like, professional basketball, and from professional basketball to, the work world, because I honestly expected everyone to work hard like y'all and to be a part of a winning company or a winning business or a winning program. And it wasn't like that. So I'm looking at these people like what's going on? What are these people doing? And it's like, everyone don't work hard like that. Everyone doesn't work hard like that. We got what's special. It's not normal. It was the exception, not the rule, right? And I wasn't expecting the world to be like that, and I wasn't expecting my next phase in basketball to be like that. But it was. There's a lot of selfishness going on. My next phase of basketball, and a lot of, just a lot of people there for the wrong reasons. And so I really, really respect y'all and the time that we had together and what y'all taught me. The way we supported each other, the way that the brother, like, there was times when Coach Lowry be like, or Coach Penny be like, you guys are brothers, and I'm like, man, I'm mad at him right now, or whatever. But this is how brothers move. We get mad at each other sometimes and we squash it and then we move on. But there's never been a moment where I haven't respected the hell out of each and every one of y'all, like, genuinely respected you. And Tony, man, I talk about you a lot, man, because it's just like, we didn't see eye to eye all the time. We didn't. But there was never a moment I did not respect you, bro. I respected the hell out of you because you came to do business, bro, and you were standing on that, and all you guys were, man. And I genuinely love that, bro.
And guys, most of all, I know our fans really appreciate all of you taking the time. As you guys said, the passion and pride in Saluki Nation is still really strong. I have so many that still come up and say, man, can you get these guys on? Can you talk to these guys so we can hear from them and see them? They all follow you. They all still love you. We really appreciate the time, fellas, and look forward to having you all back in Carbondale or at some point to say hello here down the line. We appreciate the time.
Hey, man, this picture sums it all up right here, man. That's why I got it up there. That picture's so dope, man. It sums everything up right there.
It really does, though.
The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Saluki Sports Network.